let's start with the problems that we all encounter during the process of building our careers. Now, your career can be anything you consider as your passion, something that you're gearing that it should give you finances, something that you're having a target towards for it to help you achieve something. That's the baseline we're going to consider as our career. Now, the first thing we encounter, which means that you might want to be a fashion designer, a computer engineer, an accountant, a journalist. It boils down to the career, and these are some of the issues that either you're already encountering, or you are close to encountering them, or you've already encountered them. Now, the first thing is career orientation, which signifies that most people have like low level of awareness towards the career path they are heading in. Someone might have just told you that, okay, this is a field that I think that is nice, you should do it. The next thing is mentorship. We often lack the professional support towards our career goals, which means you're engaging yourself in a career, nobody's there to guide you, no mentor, nothing, and you hope that you succeed. The next thing is peer influence. Now, you notice that most of your goals that you set, they are constantly changing. And now changing because of the influence your friends have on you. You might be learning a niche and your friend comes and says, hey, have you heard of this and that is out? Boom, you've abandoned what you were normally going through and you switch now to what your friends are telling you. So that influence might have caused you to either delay your career or just switch it to a domain where it has nothing and you wonder why you're not succeeding. Now, low exposure. You find yourself in scenarios where you're facing disengaging activities that revolves around your activity or your career. Now, this means that you find yourself in a position where most of the activities that you're doing has nothing to do with the career path that you're choosing. Take, for instance, someone stands up today that I want to be like a self-employed person or an entrepreneur, where you find yourself spending 90% of your time playing games, not games with ladies, I mean football games, and okay, they didn't get that joke, and other things that are unrelated to your field. So that's the scenario where you will now lack the exposure towards your field. You'll be aware of other aspects where your own field is lacking from a lot, and yet you plan to be the best at what you do, compete with others worldwide. Now let's have an overview of Gemini 446 initiative. So this is an initiative that we brought in place to carry out certain criteria of research that will help us understand how people can build their career paths and the issues that they encounter. So this initiative was pitched last year, and I want to have an overview so we have a baseline of what is going on. Now, let's talk about the learning pyramid. We carry out this research and we realize that there are people who, when they carry out a particular activity or they learn, most of the times when they listen to the contents that they are learning, for instance, students, they can retain only 5% of what they have listened to. Now, we realize that when they go and they read, they retain 10%. So which means that if you listen only, there is an issue. If you skip the listening part and you went just to reading, that's the shock. Now, those who listened and read, 20%. Those who demonstrated, which means that you did all that, they went and demonstrated it somewhere, they retained 30% of what they have learned. Now, those who discussed it with others increased their chances to 50%. And those who applied it in their own lives increased those chances by 75%. Now, it goes even better as those who taught others, which means you mentored others to become good at that too, up their chances by 90%. Now, we did a categorization after studying this data. We realized that there were 3 types of learners that we were dealing with. Those who learned and practiced once, as in you just learned and you did it. How we always do in class where a teacher gives an exercise, or a lecturer gives an exercise, or explains a concept, then gives an exercise, you do it just once. Now, another category are those who learned it and practiced multiple times. And we have the last category, which were those who learned, practiced and mentored others. Now, we did a blend with this data and we realized that there are, first of all, learning patterns, which means someone who can learn just by listening. Means you might not see, you just listen to it and you're good. Now, others who need to listen and see. Then those who need to listen, see, they even write down to be sure. So as they are writing, it's giving this cognitive mastery. Now, they were learning behaviors too, which means that there are slow learners. Some will say, no, I'm a slow learner, Mia. Others will be like, I'm an average learner, means that where we only see. Another will be like, I'm a fast learner. Those are those who will be like, nah, brain box that. They give CA, you're running to pay in a group with that one because you know that now he'll chew 30 or 30 or she will chew it. So now we realize that the ability to identify your learning patterns could greatly improve your career. What does this mean? It means that if you can first of all identify which area you are found in, do you listen more and grab? Do you listen and see, or do you want to write down? Understanding this will increase your chances to become a fast learner. So those who say I'm a slow learner, there's no such thing. You haven't figured out which mode best suits you. A case study is me, or should I say I? A scenario is that, like, I'm someone who, I don't like when a lecturer comes to class. I don't like when they come to teach and all that. Set CA an exam, no. Are you guys understanding the difference?
Yeah.
So which means that if you find yourself in friends like me, they always come, even on the exam and start saying that, master, I still read something. We'll just see her for that exam sitting road. You shock, you sting, you parboil. So are you guys understanding the concept? So have this in mind so that it will help you to know the kind of interactions that you make, the networks you create, the friendship and bonds you forge. At the end of the research, we concluded that in order for you to have a successful career path, there are 3 steps you need to always pass through. The first is learning, which means you should acquire a skill. The next, after acquiring that skill, practice it, which means that carry out a project. After carrying out that project, mentor, assist others. There are certain things I've become an expert in over time, not because I've studied it so many times, it's just because I've mentored, I've trained. It becomes part of me. That's why I can stand and just be doing what I'm doing now like this. NeutralScope is a platform that builds and facilitates the career paths of its candidates. This platform is based on the research from Project Gemini 446 initiative, which I've just given an overview on so you can understand where we are heading to. NeutralScope is not just a platform, like just on its own, but an institution to assist those who are willing to become successful in any career path they pick, irrespective of their background. What does this mean? This signifies that irrespective of the domain that you find yourself, whether it's in agriculture, civil engineering, or any other domain, NeutralScope is a platform for you because we have cracked the code in learning. Now we focus on how a candidate can learn, you practice it, and you mentor others, as this process helps improve cognitive retention. Let's start by understanding what this platform is built on. Our diversity learning engine. It provides you a variety of courses, both tech and non-tech courses. This means that if you're a tech candidate, you have courses that relate to it. If you're a non-tech person, you have courses that follow that niche. Hyper-growth entrepreneurs, we now call them expreneurs, which means you could be self-employed, you could be a business owner. This platform looks forward to bringing forth hyper-growth expreneurs, which means that it helps candidates to become independent thinkers and improve self-confidence. At the end of the day, once you've studied on this platform, we have several categories of certificates. The first is certification of course completion, which means after studying the course, you get that certificate. The next is an internship attestation, which means that after you've studied on the platform, you'll be required to go for an internship, either at the organization or at partner organization, which means that you will not just apply in any kind of organization. No, we will have partner organizations that will follow our standardization and policies to help take those skills that you have learned online and push you towards that career path that will help you grow more better. So that's why after carrying out that internship, you get an internship attestation confirming that truly you've done it, because it will be a step on the platform that once you've completed, we check. We know that you've already carried out practice. The third part of it is a diploma. We are currently in the process to ensure that after studying on the platform, you don't just end at the level of certificate of course completion. You get a diploma, which will be recognized nationwide. That's why we earlier said it's not just about it being a platform. We are talking about an institution that has an online platform. We move to our immersive learning parts. We will be providing videos. That's one form that you'll be studying. We will be providing extra resources, documents and other forms, books. We'll be providing stations. Now, once you start engaging on the platform, you come across the word stations because the mentors will be using that a lot. Stations now are the sample projects that you use to learn. So you'll not just be studying theory. So this is the dream. We always say squeeze theory, theory, theory. Now we are at that point where both of them have finally been blended. We also provide internship sessions, which means that a candidate studying on the platform must have a minimum of 2 months intensive internship, intending to intensify. Okay, let me just stop the word matching. So 2 months minimum is a must. After that, you jump into the project's phase. We'll go more detail on that. We will also incorporate live sessions, and we will have workshops even on site for you to carry out certain types of activities which we have programmed. The platform ensures that you always be working with real-world projects, which means that whether you're at the level of stations or you're at the level of internship, they will all be real-world projects. Why is it so? And this project, you can either carry it with us or our NeutralScope partner network. Now, why is it so? Most of the time when we want to learn, we take sample projects which we will learn and feel happy, but it will not practically influence our career path. It will not take us where we are going to. We feel it's progress, but it's not sufficient progress. Career mentors. Now the platform will be incorporating mentors, which means if you want to be a mentor, you can chat with us, we'll feed you on the platform so that you can mentor. So the mentorship opportunities open. And those who go through the platform and study are expected to become mentors, those who are just coming in. So it makes you retain more. Now these mentors will be able to offer orientation, which means you start first of all by understanding why you're on the platform, why you're about studying what you're about engaging in. You don't just jump and say, I'm excited about this. No, they will question you. You should understand why and where you're heading to. The next is peer-to-peer mentoring, which means candidates who study will mentor each other. The next is targets, which means before studying on the platform, you should have a target. You should not just go around and study that you just want to study. No. Are you studying because you want to carry out a financial activity? Are you studying because you want to be employed after the course is over? So this target will help your mentor know exactly how to tilt you. The next is the feedback loop, which means after every session, it will be analyzed to see how far you have progressed. Which means if you're not progressing at the pace we want, we need to go back to the system and figure out which part of our diversity engine is giving us this issue. Is it that the person's statistics show that they are auditory, but whereas they're supposed to be kinesthetic? So we ensure all of that. This platform ensures that you can have an amazing experience. Now we start by introducing what we call passion projects. Now, passion projects are projects that helps candidates who want to accomplish a particular goal over time. Which means that if you come on the platform, you need to pick a passion project. You're not learning just because you want to learn. You pick a project that after learning, you're going to use those skills and start applying on that project. Which means if you wanted to be a hairdresser, you know that at the end of the day, you have a project that you want to realize with hairdressing. So the skill you learn, you must put it to use, which means that if you're unable to pick a passion project, you might decline from studying. Introducing target lists. Now, the way target list functions is that it provides different roadmaps for different career paths. Now, you need to identify your target. Like I said, your target can be financial, it can be you want to grow in 30 years, a lot of people have different targets. This is because sometimes you don't expect that you want to become an entrepreneur. That's your target. And you rather go and you're maybe learning how to play football or learning how to play basketball, going for some types of low-rating things that are wasting your time. You expect that someone who wants to become an entrepreneur needs to get involved in understanding the law, understanding tax, understanding accounting, whether you are a computer engineer or which domain. There are fundamentals that you must have at least a fundamental mastery in. So that's why understanding your target, first of all, will help reshape what type of things you should learn that will be part of your life. So it helps improve the weight of your career. Some people will pick a target and focus only on one thing, and they'll say, no, being a specialist is good. Others also pick a target and focus on a lot, and they'll say being a generalist is good. That's how becoming, to be able to narrow it to ensure that your target list fits up to the career path that you're heading in. Let's talk about the gig economy. As part of your target list, you might want it that at the end of the day, after studying, an organization should recruit you. That's the employment category. The types of things and skills that you learn for an organization to recruit you is not the same set of skills that an entrepreneur is learning. This means that someone who is learning to be recruited, these are the skills you're learning. Time management, how to be prompt, how to be obedient, how to always say yes sir, how to dress well. Those are the type of things you should be engaged in. How to write a good CV, how to be able to collaborate in a team setting. But someone who is following a target of an entrepreneur, you're calculating how to do project management, how to manage teams. Are you guys understanding the scenarios? So these are the considerations you need to start making. The next is freelancing. There's a freelancing roadmap. There is a remote work roadmap. There is an entrepreneur's roadmap. There is social media monetization's roadmap. There's an investor roadmap. There is a contractor or consultant roadmap. So you need to understand these are all domains that once you pick, the type of things you learn are way different. They might interlap, but they are not often the same set of things. So take that into consideration. So at this point, we are going to be asking ourselves a question. You've heard our side of the story, our side of the world, how we see the world, how we interact with the world, and how we want to interact with you. And now ask yourself, where do you see yourself in 4 years' time? Now the reason for this question is, if you were to calculate it, and you're like, in 4 years' time, I don't really know what I'll be doing. It's fine. On the other hand, if you had to say, in 4 years' time, I would have learned this skill, that skill, this skill, that skill, it's still fine. But the issue with both choices is that life will still pay you either ways. So the decision stands between you making that choice, understanding that life will still be hard, but how hard? Would you rather be crying with zero money in your account or in your pocket, or crying where you still have 50 million? So that's a question we should all calculate. So which means even if you want to take life serious, it's going to pepper you. Even if you clown with it, it will still pepper you either ways. As someone who is planning to grow their career path, or is already growing it, or maybe has finished growing it, I want to put this now for those who are going to be building their career path based on this new knowledge that you've acquired. That have the skills people need. If you can't afford that, learn the skills people are looking for. So this will be your guide, it will be your compass to know exactly what to aim for, and knowing that if you already have skills, it should be the ones that people need. But if you know that people don't really need those skills, then start learning the one that they need. So normally at this point we're going to give a live demo, but since the platform is already online, at the end of the event you can just go to neutralscope.com, you create an account. We have a sample video that we uploaded so that we can do a live demo for you to see how the platform functions. But because of time, we might not have that demo, so that's it.